I've watched the loudest laughers clench their teeth in the dark, speaking sermons to cracked ceilings and empty chairs. They once mocked the quiet ones. Now they measure their days by the silence between two pills, or the ring that never calls back. Too many critics with no credentials, hands clean from distance, tongues sharp with theory, never tasted the ash of their own undoing. They name storms they've never stood in, judge fires they've only seen from the comfort of the cold. Not every storm shouts. Some come dressed in calm, settling in bones before you feel the cold. The same mouths that called weakness a choice now pray without sound, hands shaking like loose promises. I've seen men barter their fire for comfort, trade truth for a seat at the table where everyone smiles but no one sees. I've seen women carve themselves into shapes that fit inside someone else's dream, only to wake with nothing but dust where their voice once lived. Not every lesson has a teacher. Sometimes it's the floor that tells you you've knelt too long. Sometimes it's the mirror that shows you the apology you never gave. I keep my words close now, not out of caution, but out of reverence for the cost of certainty. I've watched pride bleed out slow, watched the unbreakable fold their rage like laundry and pretend it's peace. I move gentle through rooms that once held only noise, because I know now the loudest fall is often the one you don't hear coming. Behind the lines. This poem is a quiet, steady reckoning with what happens when life humbles the loudest voices in the room. It's about the people who once mocked vulnerability, who scoffed at softness or silence, only to find themselves face to face with their own breaking. I wrote it for those who have watched others fall from a place of arrogance into a space of grief they never prepared for, and for the ones who have had to learn the hard way that pain is an equalizer. It calls out the critics who speak with certainty but carry no experience, who pass judgment from a safe distance without ever having been in the fire. It shows how easily people dismiss what they don't understand until they find themselves praying to ceilings or holding on to pills just to make it through. The poem doesn't speak with bitterness, but with clarity. It recognises that pain doesn't always announce itself. Some storms arrive quietly. Some wounds bleed slow. There's also a deep truth here about how people reshape themselves to be accepted. Women cutting themselves down to fit into someone else's dream. Men trading truth for comfort, silencing their fire just to belong. And eventually, they wake up in the dust of what they abandoned to survive. The speaker has clearly seen all of it. Pride unravelling, rage folded into something that looks like peace, people performing strength until it becomes too heavy to carry. And through that, the speaker moves differently now, with care, with softness, not out of fear, but from having learned the cost of being too certain too soon. This poem is a reminder that the loudest falls are often silent, that real understanding comes not from speaking over others, but from surviving something yourself. It's about respecting the quiet, the unseen effort, the slow grief. And it's for those who know that sometimes the deepest pain is the one that leaves no sound at all.